Welcome back to Sleepy Hollow.
All right, so today we're going to talk about some facts about some of the Apple products out there because they've been around since 2001. To date, there are over 217 million iPhones that have been sold.
That's a lot of iPhones.
I've had two.
I've had three because my first one didn't work so well, and I dropped it in a big bucket of some stain stuff.
It was a funny day.
Just didn't want to work for me very good. So that's a lot of iPhones. A lot of Apples.
That is a whole lot of iPhones. And the iPhone wasn't the first Apple product. Neither was the iPod, but we're going to talk about the iPods now.
Yes.
They were released on October 23rd of 2001. And the iPhone was released on January 27th, or it was announced on January 7th of 2001. And it was released a year later. Each of the first iPhone had 128 megabytes of onboard RAM, and it was a 320 by 480 display, which is like the worst. Like, we don't even make DVDs or movies like that anymore. It's like putting a VHS tape in the TV.
In your phone, though.
Yeah.
That's
what it was like.
That's how bad it was.
These sold for $600, but they're now worth like 25 tops.
$25,000 or $25?
$25. That's it.
The first iPhone. Yeah, it was weak. I didn't like them very much.
No, it was dumb. But each of them have been a predecessor and a building block for its next one.
Well, yeah. Every one just gets better and better each time.
From the first one released to now, there have been 50 different models.
50.
Not just different designs, but models.
50 different iPod models.
Yeah. In the beginning, they made like the black and white and the color classic.
Which was like silver, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was silver.
I had one. Those were pretty cool.
Not much of a color.
And they went from like 1 gigabyte to right now they go up to 128 gigabyte. So that's the difference of 240 songs and 28,000 songs.
I'll tell you something funny about iPods. I didn't know they were made until 2007.
Really?
I'm not even joking. All I thought was there was MP3 players. In 2007, someone had an iPod in class, and I said, "What the heck is that thing you got in your hand?"
Was it like one of the Microsoft Zune players?
No, it wasn't a Zune. It was one of the silver ones, the big, thick ones that were
Classics.
like that thick. And I was just like, "What is that?" And I had no idea they existed. It was a rough life for me, okay?
Yeah, you didn't. You grew up in the hood.
I wasn't always technologically advanced, all right? So back off.
So that first one you were just talking about, its dimensions were 4 inches by 2.4 inches by 0.78. So it's 3/4 of an inch thick. Now we're down to a 1/4 inch iPhone.
So that's all three of these stacked together.
That's what we used to carry around because that was cool.
And now we carry that.
And it's still too thick.
Yeah, it could be a lot thinner.
So, the 4th generation iTouch.
Yeah.
That was the first one to ever have a camera.
The first iPod that
First
had a camera.
iPod, because the iPhone had one.
Yeah, no, iPhone always had one.
They didn't want the iPods to become like the iPhones. They wanted something to make them different.
So people would keep buying them.
Yep.
Money. It's all about the money.
So after they got the camera in the 4th generation, they went to the 5th generation iTouch. And that's when they changed every single thing, and there were almost riots in the street.
Yeah.
Because they changed the earbuds, which are better now. And how many different uses do they have?
The earbuds?
Yeah.
I'm going to go on lines of like 10 to 15 different uses.
Yeah. Like those 3 buttons do so much on your earbuds.
You just got to read the manual because then it tells you how many clicks it takes on each button to do something.
It's weird because it's instinctive now on most of them.
The headphones have improved drastically over the last few years.
They aren't those stupid ones.
Because, like,
I hated those
the
ones.
iPhone 4S, I had that one. Just wasn't a fan of the headphones. But when I got the 6, the bee's knees of headphones right there, they were good.
Those are pretty cool,
yeah.
The new ones. And then that's when they switched to the lightning cord,
yep.
Which made everyone mad because everyone had to go buy new iHomes.
Or the adapter to go to the new iHomes.
So.
And there was almost riots about that.
Yeah. Not too many people were happy about that.
No.
But now, the first iPod had 10 hours of battery life tops.
Yeah.
That's as far as you could go. Now, just running music, they can run up to 40 hours.
The new iPods. 40 hours.
And I told you the first one had 128 megabytes of onboard RAM.
Mm-hmm.
The new ones are 1 gigabyte total of RAM. So it's like 1,000,000 times more than the first one.
Jeez Louise.
So this is like just thinking about where we were.
This is
12
only
years ago,
12 years ago.
and how much faster things have gotten. And to
They built it that fast.
Yeah, to put
It's
all
just-
of that into
mind-boggling.
perspective, the Apollo guidance computer, the AGC that flew the Apollo 11 mission from Earth to the moon, it only had 64 kilobytes of memory. That's less than the first iPod.
Less than.
Less than by
And
a
we went
lot.
to the moon.
Yeah.
How many people were on that mission?
Wasn't there like 3?
I think 3, 4. Either way, they went to the moon and back
Yeah.
with less memory than an iPod.
Yeah. They had 64 kilobytes, and before it landed, the computer overloaded because it was trying to run 2 programs
Before
at
it-
once.
Before it landed,
on the moon.
It overloaded.
Because it was trying to run 2 programs at one time, and it couldn't handle it.
Wow. And they still made it.
Yep. And back then, the company IBM that made the program
Yeah.
for it described it as the most complex software ever written. And now I have little like thumb drives that hold more memory
Yep.
than their complex software.
It was quite complex back then.
Yeah. So
How much did it cost to make?
I think I read somewhere that in the 60s, 1 gigabyte of memory cost upwards of $329,000.
Jeez. Now you can go buy a phone for
I have 64 gigs
$600.
online. Exactly.
Jeez.
Now, iPhones, they're not just for the music listening and all of that fun
No.
jazz and watching this show on them. But they've also saved lives. A Fresno
yep.
University student had his iPhone to thank for his life because it absorbed the shock from a bullet when a mugger tried to rob him.
Didn't the story just happen a few months ago?
And I think it did. And there was one more that this guy went out and some kids were turning the water off to his house every night.
Yeah.
And he decided he would take it into his own hands and sawed off his double-barreled shotgun. And he shot one of the teenagers 5 feet away, point-blank range.
With a shotgun.
Yeah. Hit his green iPhone C. Stopped the bullets from, or the little pellets out of the shotgun.
All the BBs.
Yeah. From all of this guy's vital organs and saved his life.
This is from 5 feet away.
5 feet away, sawed off
And
shotgun.
And the iPhone C.
The
Those didn't
little
last
plastic
very long.
one.
Those little
No,
things are plastic.
That was one generation they did.
You
of that.
could, like, just snap those in half. And that stopped shotgun.
Yeah, we've
killing
got a
them.
picture to show you of it. It's pretty cool. I
find
can't
that
believe it.
That's an interesting story. I don't know how that happened. Because that thing should have been shattered.
Yeah, it should have. Mine shatters when I drop it on the ground.
Exactly.
That stopped a bullet.
A very powerful bullet.
Alright, I think we're ready to do the outro.
Outro.
Unless you got something to say.
Nope. That's good.
Alright, Aubrey, you're up.
All right.
Take 5.
Take 5.
Thank you for watching this week's episode. Please don't forget to follow us at Hollow Team on Twitter.